Give me the fucking send the blood tied to his body, watch it drop. Break down, sparking while I sick him on the block. Sabotage my life just to thinking up the plot. Can't touch my fate, bitch, I was raised just to rock. I'm in a racist soul, Christian mode. Thank God, bitch, get fucked in the throat. Knocking on the cage, gripping the bottom of my blade. Singing the feeling I get when I beam the vision, the mountain, the ground, my name in the grave. I'm blackboard by my own eyes. Day is on the light, I say prayer, then I let the noose hang, y'all. Cold-blooded, but it burn like a flame.
I like to talk a lot, I like to watch your bodies rot. Kamikaze, sacrifice my life for greater cause. Ominous was sights and right between his fucking eyes. Watch him crying, beg for life, I think I might decide. I'm venom, I know you're pathetic, I wanna be better than all of these things. Tell me the villain, I know that he killed it, he only be spelling out enemies' price. Run it up, when he begs, I'm getting up. Funny bad, I'ma kill him all. Visceral, I don't care about your visuals, independent of it at all. Fuck everything in this terrible world, I'm always in agony, happy to fall. Taking my foes and burning them all up, sucker the worst and using the cause. I refuse to cause, looking at my palms, see the blood starting slowly, watch it fall. All because I'm being
Blackboard by my own eyes. Day is on the light, I say prayer, then I let the noose hang, y'all. Cold-blooded, but it burn like a flame.
So as I was saying before I was interrupted, free speech and people not liking the speech that you use. And the point I was trying to make is that people having a right to say what they want to does not mean you're going to like it. And they're not saying it to make you like it. Your liking it is not part of the deal at all. Now, your right to bear arms is, in the sense, if the people expressing their own free speech come to do some harm to you that infringes upon your rights. That's why the second protects the first. Now, in a day-to-day situation where you're getting so much media and whatnot pumped out there to try to tell you you shouldn't say that, you shouldn't say this, you shouldn't call somebody this, you shouldn't call somebody that. Yeah, forget all that. Forget all that. That's all BS, right? Because while I was doing those work orders, I was thinking of the top 5 reasons why that's bull crap, and I just got to the first one. And because I'm a bit irritated and cresting on a little bit of hangry, even though I just did get some food, I haven't finished it all yet. I just woofed down a little bit of it before I got back on the stream with you guys. The main reason why you should not care what somebody thinks of what you have to say is because they wouldn't give a shit about your feelings if they wanted to say something to you. Now, a lot of this point that I'm making gets to some of the stuff I've seen in the media this week. And no, it's not traditionally geek stuff. But here's the thing. I geek out on a lot of different things. And I'm very good at a lot of different things. I am. Now, YouTube might not be one of them because I can't draw an audience over 100 people. But It's all about how much time you devote to this shit. I do not devote that much time to it. I don't. So I get the results that I get based on that. That's why I don't bitch about it. It is what the hell it is. Now, me being a person that is a content creator on YouTube, I waver back and forth with what I do as being content, right? I make reactions and reviews of movies and television shows that I watch. And I try to put stuff out there that you guys have not seen or have not experienced to get you to get into it, right? A little bit, right? My forte is geekdom, but I pay attention to the world, not just one thing, right? Now, being that I have my own little soapbox here on YouTube and I can say pretty much whatever I feel like saying or whatever I want to come out of my mouth, like a politician or an entertainer or a stand up comedian. Me speaking is not contingent upon you agreeing. It's not contingent upon your feelings being coaxed and made to feel good. It's not. That is not a requirement of having a mind and having words to articulate your thoughts. That is not a requirement. Now, some things you can do to be empathetic of others' feelings. Yeah, but that's your choice. You don't have to because it's not required. What's required of you is actually to have a brain to think your own fucking thoughts and a mouth to actually speak them. And the nuts, courage, gonads, ovaries, whatever have you, to actually speak it to anybody who wanted to hear it. That's it. Now, somebody having their feelings hurt about what you say, that's not on you. That's too fucking bad for them because they're that goddamn sensitive. Now, I can get up here and say a lot of shit, a lot. I can go in and out of stepping in somebody's ass feelings or whatever. I can. And mostly I tone it down. Only person that really gets my ire up is stupid people and KK. Those are the ones that really get my ire up right now because they are actively doing things to dismantle what I love and enjoy. Actively. And nobody will do anything about it. At most, anybody with some authority can do is say, oh, we smacked them on the hand one time. At most. Me being here on YouTube talking about geek stuff and properties that I have been a fan of, involved in, poured money into since I was a young child is me expressing my love for something that I don't want somebody to come along and just ruin because they do not care about it. They have not put anything into this and they dislike the fact that I like it. Now, all you can do in that situation as a fan is voice your concerns. That's all you can do. But the person you're voicing your concerns to does not have to like it. They don't. They don't have to like you. You don't have to worry about if what you said hurts their feelings. You know why? Because their fucking feelings are not contingent upon what you have to say. Now, one of the other things that drives me crazy about human beings, especially Western American human beings, is how they like to take shit out of context. Context is important. A picture without a frame or just a bunch of paint without a canvas is just a bunch of paint. It's just a mess. But it takes an artist or artisan to actually take that paint, put it on a canvas, and make the Mona Lisa. It actually takes a frame to finish that off. Everything within context. A bunch of paint on a palette is not a painting. It's just paint. But you put it between those four dimensions of a frame or a canvas. Now you framed a picture and crafted with the person who has the intelligence and the artistry to put those paints and colors together into a picture from their mind. Then you get the portrait. Then you get the masterpiece. But going up to that picture, cutting out a snippet of it, and saying, "Look, this is not a woman." Yeah, you're right. It's not a woman. You fucked it up because you can't see it out of context. Human beings drive me crazy in a sense because they think too goddamn slow, too self-centered, too narcissistic, too all worried about their fucking feelings. And that's what's killing this country right now. A bunch of people running around in their goddamn feelings trying to silence everybody else who doesn't subscribe to their bullshit. That is absolutely infuriating. Why? Because I asked myself this question. And what's up to everybody in the chat saying hello to each other, but didn't even say hello to the host? Rude as fuck. Lost my train of thought doing that shit. Lost my whole train of thought. I'm not talking about you, AB. Don't get in your feelings. And then Rico. I should just do a roast stream and see what I can say just to get people all sensitive to leave. And everybody want their feelings coddled. So here's the thing. The people who are most adverse to the truth are the ones who are always talking about their damn feelings, who always want to shut you down when something doesn't jive with them and doesn't, pat their egos, so to speak. Those are the ones. Those are the ones that are most irritated. Why? Because that reaction tells you how little they're actually critiqued. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I was born and raised as a black man in the United States of America. There has not been a time in 49 years of living that I have not been able to be critiqued about anything, even things I'm awesome at, by people who haven't even ventured to do step one of the 20 that I mastered. I just came from a job to come fix somebody else's issue in their home and had a dude try to explain to me what the fuck porcelain is. Now that was slightly irritating because for me, if you call an expert or if you just call a person whose job it is to fix the things that go wrong in your home, and you call them because you don't know how to fix it, when they show up, the last thing you should be doing is trying to explain anything to them other than what is not happening. They don't need a dissertation on what you think to describe what porcelain is. That has absolutely nothing to do with what's going on here. And nothing really to do with anything else other than the inadequacy of your own fragile ego. And that is what I believe this culture produces now. Smartphones, dumb people with a bunch of fragile fucking egos. Now, this may seem a little mean because I told you, I warned you in the beginning, I'm crusting on hangry. It's about almost 4 o'clock here. I have barely eaten anything all day. I am not in a pleasant fucking mood. But at the same time, I do not think just because you're watching me, you are subject to have to hear that bullshit. I don't. That's why it's metered. That in the wide range of words in the English language and phrases I can string together with those words in the English language, you are not hearing all of them. You are hearing the ones I think that are most poignant and potent for this moment and most appropriate for this moment. What up, Aquatechy? Somebody get it. Now, where does all of this come from? Some things in the personal life, other things that I was checking out on this Austin Hollerman stuff of what he said about Brazilian women and whatnot, the whole passport bros thing. And after hearing BGS's videos about Austin Hollerman, I understood why what last week before, a brother ran into my chat who I'd never seen before, asking me some random ass question about what did I think about passport bros. I think I don't give a fuck. I think if I was traveling abroad right now, I'd be trying to slay me some chicks too. Find me a wife. Why the hell not? I definitely know the ones here don't know how to act. Not a lot of them. Not in my age group. I'm a Gen Xer. You don't think I know what the fuck I'm talking about? Okay. Now, do I think that what Austin said was in any way inappropriate? No, not that I know of. From what I've heard, because I couldn't find the original video. Everybody talking about this shit, nobody dropped the link to the original video. If he said that women were more, I don't know, pleasant to be around on his channel, on his soapbox, the fuck you got to say about it? Now, from what I understand of the situation, he did a video talking about women in Brazil. Nice, friendly, all the rest of that stuff. If you want to have sex that night, he can have sex that night. They wasn't tripping and all the rest of that shit, right? Okay, big deal. Now, from what I understand, some four-legged furry female, decided she didn't like that. She got in her damn feelings about what he had to say and set about to try to mess him up on social media using her ability to speak to shit on him, which got him into a whole heap of trouble because she threw around the whole sex trafficking thing. I'm like, what? As far as I know, the brother is 23. What? You stupid motherfucker. Really? Really? Where's my I need my bitches you for real on this deck right here. Let's get that one.
Ow!
You have got to be stupid. Talk about dog whistle language. Now, because of what she did, trying to get him in trouble, a grown ass man, it became unsafe for him to be in Brazil. Because some other people got in their feelings about it too. And Austin bounced from Brazil and went to parts unknown by me. Aquateki said he thinks the word originally was easier. Yeah, I thought chicks liked it easy. I know American chicks like it easy. If it's difficult, they don't want to fucking do it. Which he later explained meant more pleasant. I'm sure in context, Aquateki, it made perfect sense. But some goofy ass chick decided to take that one little snippet out of context and make it into some other narrative. And that's what bitches do. Now, which, in fact, by doing that, proves this point, doesn't it? Proves this point. Now, I happen to know a little bit about Brazil. A little bit, very little bit. I haven't been there. I didn't visit, none of that shit. But back in the 90s, my family and some friends of my family visited Brazil quite often. Quite often. Actually, before the 90s. It's like early, must have been like late 80s, early 90s. Anyway, point being is, friend of my family and my mother's friends, put it that way. That's better. Not to put too fine of a point. My mother's friends, her brother, right? He used to visit Brazil, and he found his wife in the late 80s, early 90s in Brazil. And he brought her back here. And Isabel was beautiful. Beautiful. Fine as fuck. Even for a teenage boy. Now, this brother, because yes, he is a black man, worked for Ford Aerospace. He is making a shitload of money. And I mean dump trucks of money. He had his son here by some worthless ass, crackhead ass bitch here. The one I told y'all about, who would rather take money than take care of her fucking child. That's how he got his son without having to go to court, just giving her money every month. This is the things I know about why I have the positions, or informs the positions that I have on women, on the nature of women, and about their motherhood. Now, because he didn't like what he was seeing here in America, late 80s, early 90s, he traveled to Brazil. They went to Carnival in Brazil. Him, my cousin that was in construction with me, my mother, a bunch of other people. What do you think he found in Brazil? Any of y'all savvy Google fingered folks in the chat, look up Oba dancers. Look those up. Maybe I'll do it for you, just so we can have some fucking interactive fun, since folks like listening and not responding. There we go. Oba dancers, baby. I wonder if I can get a strike for this. Well, gotta be for something. Gotta be for something. These are dudes. Top one is it? I'll use the top one because they got a whole video, and I don't know if I want to play the video. Maybe I will. This one's on YouTube. A couple of dances, I guess. Let's see. All right, let's share this with everybody else because I'm gonna get in here and start gigging to it. Clip of Arsenio Hall came up for you. Okay, I didn't get that one. I got a different clip. Let's see. Now, Oba is a dance group, usually performs at Carnival, has a dress and all the rest of the shit. Now, the guy I'm talking about, I'm not using his name, protect the innocent, because sometimes I care about folks' feelings. He went down there and found himself a wife, and she used to dance for Oba. And this, some of those dances.
Vem, meu amor, vem me beijar. Hoje eu tô de cor e você tá. Vem, meu amor, vem me beijar. Beijo escondido pra ninguém clonar. Vem, meu amor, vem me beijar. Hoje eu tô de cor e você tá. Vem, meu amor, vem me beijar. Beijo escondido pra ninguém clonar.
Okay, that's enough for the floor show. Make sure to tip your waitress. Now, this brother bagged him one of these dancers. He got down there. He ain't afraid to talk to women. He talked to, I guess, one of these dancers, and they hit it off, started a relationship. He ended up marrying her, having a child by her. I think he had 2 kids by her. Brought her back here. What she was making in Brazil was so low, she was happy to move here and work on a construction site, just holding flags, keeping people from driving down the road. And she was making more money here doing that than she would have ever made in fucking Brazil. It was fine. She cooked, she did all that nice shit. She was pleasant, she was nice, all that shit. Until she got to mixing with these American chicks. Because they didn't like that shit. And they got involved and broke up his happy home. She divorced. for a bag, nigga. For a bag. You know what she got after that? As far as I know, she got shit husbands. And single with kids. Grown kids by this time. You know what the homie did? Who married her and brought her here? Went and got him another wife from somewhere else. Living happy. In, I believe, Arizona. And still got bread. Exactly, Aquateki. Toxic feminism. You said Americanism. I'm putting points on shit because I'm not in the fucking mood today. Yeah, toxic Americanism. Eddie Murphy said this in Raw when he was talking about how Johnny Carson got divorced and how much money his wife got out of Johnny Carson when he got divorced, even though his wife ain't never wrote a goddamn joke. And how Eddie Murphy believed that he would have to go to the middle of Africa and find him some bush chick to marry until she got here with the American women. And they figured out he had some trained bush bitch in his house, what they would do. A lot of comedy is pulled from reality. That's why the rawest comedians are always talking about real life. That's what makes them so fucking good. It's not all that, well, yesterday I was out and I was walking the street and I saw some dude and he slipped down. It's not that. It's not that. It's the people who look at life and ask you, like a Dave Chappelle, can a lesbian or a trans person be racist? That's a real joke. And that's really true. Yeah, umfufu like a motherfucker. Goony goo goo. Eddie, I'm an American woman now. Half! Give me half, Eddie. Give me half, Mr. Fuck You Man. That bullshit. And that has happened to Eddie more than once. And he's still rich. American women do not like to see you happy anywhere. Especially if you're not happy with them. If you find happiness anywhere that don't involve them, they don't like it. Think about how many comedians you know who've talked about that shit. I believe Chris Rock has a joke about that, about a woman sensing that your ass is happy somewhere and calling to see what the fuck you doing. You could be hanging out with your homeboys having a good time. She said, "This nigga fucking happy somewhere?" Will show up, turn up, and cause chaos. Now, the last thing they want on top of that is for you to figure out, I don't need to deal with your shit. And I will be happy with some other woman. Somewhere else. And them to have access to that chick. Because it fucks with them. It fucks with their shallow fucking ego. Because they are narcissists. All attention has to be focused on them. All of it. Even if they don't want your ass. That is a condition. That is a medical condition that you can get treatment for. I never knew who Alston Hollerman even was. I can't say I care more about him now knowing who he is. far as I know, from my experience with an older brother than me back in the late 80s, early 90s, going to Brazil to find a woman, he wasn't the only one doing that shit. It's been going on for a long goddamn time. If I have to list all the white boys who have mail order Russian brides, mail order Asian wives, wives from Brazil, wives from Africa, get the fuck out of here with this being pissy because some young brother went to another country in in 2023, 22, and said, hey, look, man, it's good over here. These women are easier to talk to. Oh, they're pleasant. I saw a part of a video. He's sitting on a beach. I don't think he knew them two chicks. They look nice to me, and they seem pleasant enough for him to talk to. Is he some hell of a good looking dude? He seemed like a regular fucking schmegular dude. It ain't like he walked out there like Dexter St. Jock with his penis hanging over his shoulder. He ain't ripped up like The Rock and long hair like Jason Momoa. I'm like, he just a regular dude out there speaking to regular goddamn women. And some mad ass chick somewhere else saw that shit and gotten her fucking feelings because he said it was easy. For what? Was you looking for him? Were you looking for Austin and he overlooked you? I don't think so. I don't think so. So why do you care? BGS broke this point down very clearly, which I thought was good. That's why I don't feel like I need to add any more to it except to say my 2 cents on it, just because I felt fucking like it. These chicks here is worried about their food sources drying up. That's all it is. Look, I like watching nature shows. I've watched a lot of nature shows. Going back to Jacques Cousteau, going through the seas and the oceans and shit like that. I always love exploration. Finding out shit you do not know about. Love that shit. One of the things that I saw in the Serengeti that was always interesting that they talked about on nature shows? It's about how the dry season comes. After the rainy season, you get the dry season, right? And all those lush watering holes where everybody fed start running dry. And then what do you see happening? Everybody's crowded around this smaller, ever decreasing pool. And then the predators show up. Because people are coming in close contact with each other, realizing shit getting kind of tight. What do you think they're upset about? BGS is right. Their food sources are drying up. That's what it is. And they feel it. Women is more sensitive to the environment than men are. Men oppose the environment. Shout out to Charles and shout out to Saru. Men oppose environments. This is why you can't tell a man what he can and cannot say. You're going to have to beat his ass. And if you can't beat his ass, you should probably shut your fucking mouth. Take your discontent and file it away somewhere under maybe one day he'll give a fuck. Do you know a dying man can still spit on your name and oppose whatever you did to him to put him in a position to die? And he will still hold to that shit. That's proof positive you can't control what comes out of a man's mouth. And you can't tell him to stop saying it. No matter what your fucking feelings feel like. If you thought anything different, you're delusional. Now, women who are very sensitive and make nest in the environment will say anything you fucking want them to. Integrity is a male trait. It's not a female. Now, you have to go no further than a scenario that can play itself out right now, an hour from now. I'll give you this. I'll give you this. Guy is suspicious of his wife being rude to him, being mean, and stuff like that. He leaves for a 2-day trip. He comes back early, first day. There's another dude in his house. What do you think his wife is going to tell him? The truth? Or anything she can to get her lit up? She gonna lie to his fucking face and stand on it. Another example. What was the name of that heifer that thinking of a name. I don't think that's the right name. I want to say Megger Evers. That's not it. Fuck. Drawing a blank. Anyway, another situation. College chick. No. Better yet. This will play into one of the other things I want to talk about today. College chick goes to college. Nice white girl. Say she's from Tennessee. Goes off to college. Decides she gonna indulge her American feminist whole phase, and she just want to, have a whole gangbang with all the dudes, whole football team. Invite them all over one day. They in the dorm room. Everybody get a chance. She topping everybody off. Pepper grinders splashed in the face, all that shit. Dude's got cameras. Girlfriend might be there in the room too. Got camera. Filming that shit. Video gets back to her daddy, who's prim and proper and don't necessarily like Negroes, of what baby girl doing at college. She's supposed to be doing her paper. She's doing that long division and studying fluid dynamics in her face. What do you think happens when Pops is pissed off and calling the police? Was she there, a willing participant, initiating acts with people? Or were they all grapists all of a sudden? Was she the empowered and charged, this is my body, I do what I want to with my body woman? Or was she the poor defenseless little girl who was just taken advantage of by all false men? Does she stand on her independence? Or does she fold up like a collapsible camping chair to be tucked away until it's next time you need it? No integrity. Don't stand on it. This is what I call human tofu. People who get in the stream and become anything anybody else, the strongest voice in the room, is doing. That's why you can't necessarily trust them. You don't stand on shit, but shit. That's why it's always smelly, and it's always sticky, and it's always messy. Messy. Messy is not a term that comes from men. It's a term that comes from women because women are fucking messy. Yeah, victim role all day because they always got to be a victim when you ain't accountable. Men are victims too to their own stupidity, their own inabilities, their own inadequacies. But even in that, they have to take accountability for it. You know what? I didn't make this pull up record because I didn't do what was needed to make it. That is my fault. I need to fix that on myself. You know what the female response to that is? This record is too hard. This is some bullshit. They should have got somebody to help me do this. Can we lower this bar? That record is too high. I'll never reach that. That's unfair. That's sexist to make me have to do these pull-ups. And the motherfucker standing on the side of her telling her too fucking fat to do it. You trying to shame me. You a hater. No, I'm a person that's not sight impaired. This country is dying from a lack of being able to say what is actually on your mind and talk clearly about subjects that are complicated and not complicated at the same time because people do not want to hear truth. Well, I wouldn't say that. Certain amount of people don't want to hear the truth. And that's the main ones who try to shut you down and close your mouth and find every excuse in the world not to have to listen to you, not to have to hear you. They cannot listen all day. They cannot listen all day. Because just because your ears hear a sound don't mean you're listening to what's going on. You know, like somebody in the other room having a conversation on the phone, you recognize that there is words being spoke, but you don't hear the whole fucking conversation, right? You can't give them the beat by beats of the conversation because you're not listening. You always hear, you're not always listening. Just like some people are always talking, but not saying shit. You like that one? No one, fluid mechanics, fluid dynamics. Yeah, I'm a smart motherfucker. I don't be flexing on people though. Try to be humble because I know I could also be stupid. I'm not, but I could be. I'm not as smart as I want to be, and that's just a self critique. So when I look at Aquateki, that's something completely different. That's something completely different. You realize listening means that you're paying attention to what the other person is saying, right? Comprehension means you understand, right? Give you a perfect example. If you've had kids, if you had to call a kid 3 times and they in another room and they didn't respond until the third time, it means they didn't hear you. Or, excuse me, back it up. Sorry, I got burped from this fucking cough. They weren't listening, right? They were not listening. Now, if they finally come on the third call, you tell them what to do or what not to do. And they go and do the shit again. That means they didn't comprehend. Even if you told them, look, go in there, turn that fucking music down so you can hear me. Are you listening? Yes. Do that shit again, and I'm going to beat your ass. Do you understand? Yes. And then they go off into the other room. You wait 10 minutes and you call them again. Why? Because the music's still up high. Was that a failure to listen or was it a failure to comprehend? They understood the language you were speaking. They acknowledged that they heard it, but they didn't comprehend that your ass was fucking serious. So when you call them back out there, when they hear you again, and you ask them, you didn't listen. No, I was listening. No, you weren't, because you didn't comprehend. You didn't fucking change the behavior. So now you get your ass whooped. People listen to a lot of shit. A lot of them don't comprehend a fucking thing because they don't pay attention. They were never listening to begin with. They heard words, but they weren't listening. I can give you an example from my own personal life, but I know somebody getting their fucking feelings if I mentioned it. Yeah, Toya, cruising for a bruising. And Toya, I need a copy of that playlist, sister. I need a copy of that playlist. She has Souls of Mischief on there. That's my song. That's my bae. I gotta hear that playlist. So stop being selfish and share. Now, in English language, we use listening and comprehension synonymously, but that's kind of the failing of English language and English speaking people anyway, especially the ones in America. You don't use words right. You usually don't use the right word for what the fuck it is you mean anyway. It makes it worse when you get people over here that don't speak the language well and they don't have a firm grasp of the words that they fucking speaking. They put their own meaning on the damn words. I had part of this conversation with my daughter when she was about 15 about what a certain word meant. And actually having to realize that the definition that she was using for the word is not the one that it is. Not the one in the dictionary, but it's the one that her generation uses, the way they use the word. That's not what it fucking means. And that's not what it is, baby girl. We argued about that shit. We did. And it wasn't no yelling argument. It was just debating the fact that's not what the damn word means. And she explained her position. Oh, that's what it means to them. Now, I said, well, this is why you motherfuckers is fucked up. Because you're using shit the wrong way. It's like putting a spoon in your ass. Yes, it could scoop out some shit, but you wouldn't want to eat with it, would you? Let's make fun of Toya for a minute. You said okay, but it isn't what you might think. What, you got the sounds of people, goats and stuff like that having sex on there? Is that what? Because that's what I thought it was. I thought it was goat and bee sex. That's not what it is. That's not what the playlist is. Oh shit, I'll be disappointed then. Maybe you don't need to share it with me. Definitions and context of usage are important. Yes, it is. You know what that helps, Aquateki? Comprehension. Now, Toya sitting here laughing at that shit. Now, shout out to the BTU. Now, how does this relate? Austin Holloman can say whatever the fuck he wants to about whoever he wants to. No, you don't have to like it. You don't. You know why? He didn't say it for you to like it. He wasn't trying to assuage your feelings and coax your fucking ego. Get over yourself. A lot of people. Whole fucking glare. fucking sorry, guys. That's not the Lord on my shoulder. That is the light coming through there, and I'm gonna have to switch positions. It's been a hell of a day, sir. It's been a hell of a day, y'all. It's getting worse. It's getting worse. Hold on 1 second. Let me try to fix the situation here. 1 second. Again, another. And we're back. See if that works better. I usually light the sun over my shoulder, even though you're not supposed to do that for YouTube. But sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't. Right, BTM? So anyway, Austin saying what he had to say is his right, just like the woman that didn't like what he had to say, saying what she say is her right too. Don't change the fact that the truth is what the truth is. The women in Brazil were a lot nicer than the ones here. They are. I had a woman call me everything but a child of God because they couldn't admit to the fact that being upset is a feeling. That took the course of 2 minutes of trying to get somebody to answer a straight question. Is upset a feeling? You know why that person got mad? Because I was right. Not because it was wrong, because I was right. Because that shallow fucking ego cannot deal with that criticism that you were wrong. That woman that did that shit to Austin, that's what her shit was. That's what she was mad about. The fact that she was wrong and Austin was right. And she wanted to shut him down from being able to say something about it. Why? Because it dries up the food sources for the rest of her trifling ass ilk. Now, I don't know if y'all noticed this shit or not, but they on their last leg with that bullshit. It is way too many brothers, way too many men getting the fuck out of Dodge from dealing with y'all ignorant ass American women's. I don't know if you noticed that. Maybe you did. You'd have to be blind not to see it. Because a brother taking his passport and going overseas and finding him a wife ain't shit new. And I think somebody else said it on another panel. It might have been Angry Man who said this shit. It was never a problem with this shit till black men start being able to do it. Now everybody got in their feelings about it. Like, oh, that's wrong. You're doing this. You're preying on these poor women, these poor defenseless women. Are these fucking adults? Are these adults? Are these other grown women who can decide if they want to mess with this man or not? Oh, you just don't like somebody coming back and rubbing it in your face. What is rubbing it in your face? Exactly. Since your face ain't nowhere near these fucking dudes anyway, because you didn't want them, right? So what's rubbing it in your fucking face? Coming back and being happy? Them having to walk by you in the park and you there with your excuse me, stroller with them kids and no man, and they sitting there smiling at each other, having a good day? Is that rubbing it in your face? Or seeing his cheesy ass on the camera somewhere talking about, yeah, I got me a good woman. Is that rubbing it in your face? Because you had to see one of his live streams and have your poor little feelings hurt because you sitting there lusting after his ass and you couldn't have him? You thought he was lame, weak, a nerd, a geek, or whatever the fuck it is, and you figured out, you know what? Or excuse me, he figured out, I make enough money. I make enough money. I don't need to make more. I don't need much more either. Anyway. But if I take the amount of money I make here and look at this globally and not just in my neighborhood, in my country, I'm sitting the top of the heap somewhere. Huh. Well, fuck it. I can go there. You know what's the first thing they take from you nowadays when you're on child support? Your passport. Why? Because they don't want your ass to leave. They want all your money. They want you on this plantation. Well, that's another reason for them chicks to try to get a baby out of you. When you take a regular average dude, $40,000, $50,000 a year, no kids, no attachments here outside of his biological family he grew up with, and he leaves and finds a woman of another culture, depending on what he does, he can leave this bitch and take that money with him. You know what that means? The pool of eligible men for these trifling ass women gets smaller. The watering hole has gotten smaller. Food sources are drying up. I told y'all one simple thing that would keep you from being too involved with some of these modern chicks. Stop getting them pregnant. Very simple. I'm not saying you had to stop having sex. Look, having sex after a certain point is a biological urge. It is almost like going and getting your oil changed for men and women. It is regular maintenance that needs to be done. And thinking about this in this way, talking with Black Bane about some shit with females and whatnot, I came upon this question, and I'll ask you guys here today because I was going to put it on a short, but 60 seconds was not enough time to give context, right? So, Aquateki said, passport, driver's license, and professional license all snatched. Yes. They will keep you on the plantation. Shout out to the Grinch guy. They'll keep you on that plantation. All of those things that Aquatech just listed right there are your fucking freedom papers. Freedom to move around your city, freedom to earn a living, freedom to leave this bitch whenever you feel like it. Those are your freedom papers. You should maintain them all as much as possible and be savagely against anybody trying to take those from you, especially as a black man. Now, the question that I came up with when talking to Black Bane about some shit was an interesting one. And the question goes like this: what does a man need a modern woman for that cannot be substituted by a therapist and an escort? And that's throwing the whole procreation thing off the table. Because understand, chick don't need to get your nut. No. Study your tantric sex. Or orgasm and coming is two separate things. So that's the question. What does a man need a woman for that a therapist and an escort can't satisfy in his life? I'm really curious about an answer, gentlemen. Oh, is Aquatech the only one who want to play along? Now, I came upon this thinking that a lot of stuff that men in relationships rely on women for, which is that sounding board, that person you can actually tell, let down your guard with, and actually have conversations with. Most of that stuff is taken up by therapists now because modern women don't want to do that shit anyway. Funny how that works, right? Now, aside from procreation, if you're not trying to have kids or you're in the privileged position to already have children, you're done. You've done your part for humanity. Your card is now punched. You are finished. So that's off the table already. Then you get down to fucking sex. Well, like I just told you, sex is like regular maintenance. Men can go a long time without sex. There's a whole religion based on not having sex. Now, where that religion or some of them crack is that you still need that. You still need that interpersonal, physical connection every once in a while. But like my cousin told me, shout out to Nelson, a long time ago, ain't no pussy ever got harder or tighter than his fist. Now, that being true, sometimes you just want some feminine contact. You just want to smell those pheromones. You just want the nice supple feel of a pair of boobies in your mouth. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you just want to smell femininity. You do. Nothing wrong with that. Just like sometimes women just want to smell some masculinity. Smell that testosterone. Feel those muscles. Listen to that growl in a nigga voice. Feel them thrusting up on you. That's why lesbians always have a big dildo and a strap on. Try to simulate it a little bit for you. So what? Aquateki said, I think you balance the equation, sir. Aquateki, that's what I do. My life is about seeking balance. I don't like shit out of balance. And I am not a fucking Libra. I just understand that everything has its ebb and its flow and its balancing point. And there's only so much you can put on one side before you need to put some on the other side. There is that give and take in every relationship, not just romantic. So I thought about that, and I thought it was like a question that I would like answers to. I thought it'd be interesting. I thought it'd piss some people off too, because the first thing I can hear somebody saying, and it'll be probably some in her fucking feelings, loudmouth bitch, would be, oh, you equating all women to hoes. No. But I know, and I've seen for myself, that the prevailing mindset of women nowadays, or let's put it this, let's give them a little bit of wiggle room. The prevailing mindset of a certain group of women nowadays is hoe-like. It's hoe culture. With a hand over your mouth to not be able to call it hoish. Perfect example comes down to this case that I was reading up on, which is the one in Tennessee with Megan Hall. You know, the little pie-faced white girl who sat there and was, fucking everybody in the apartment after a year or so of getting on. That didn't take long, did it? Most people say she ain't that cute. No, she ain't. That's just a regular white chick, as far as I can think of. She kind of favor Maisie Williams, kind of favor that Arya Stark. But I don't know, maybe motherfuckers was playing the Game of Thrones with her ass. I don't fucking know. But how did she get so many people up in her so fast? And why did they go so hard with getting certain people, with firing certain people, and just suspending others? There she go. What's up, Arya? My set is now complete. Arya need a nickname outside of the Chocolate Witch because Arya got them lips. What up, Arya? Thighs and lips. That's what I'm selling there. I got thighs and lips. What y'all want? Got part of a woman now. I need one more so my trinity can be complete. Now, I was reading on this story of this Megan Hall because I've seen some memes and some of them been funny as fuck, right? But then I started thinking about how many pictures exist of this fucking chick. Now, the video I saw on Instagram was her riding a mechanical bull in uniform. And people making a joke about how poignant that shit was. Yeah, that was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. She had a good form. She was hanging on to that bitch too, wasn't she? Now, I went I think it wasn't the Hollywood Reporter. Let me see. I went and got the damn investigation report, right? And I started reading through it. And I thought how interesting it was that while I was living my life in December last year and enjoying myself and looking forward to go see, Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock, this shit with this chick was going on and she was just buffing down a couple of dudes on her job. Now, I joked about this on Instagram, not because I give a fuck, but as I pointed out to the nameless protagonist when we were talking about it, like the only part that's surprising about any of this is that it was put out there and so public. And then you ask the question why? Because white chicks fucking a lot of black dudes, period, black, white, whatever, Latino, it don't matter, is not surprising. Chicks fucking a lot of dudes in general is not surprising at all. At work? Are you shitting me? Where else do you think she hunt? The workplace and clubs. And nowadays, digitally, dating apps. You don't think so? I wanted to use this object lesson for my coworker who recently jumped on a dating app, and I gave her advice to get the fuck off of there. That your value goes down every month you own that bitch. And as an object lesson, I wanted to show her somebody I know that's still on that damn dating app after years, and they're an ex of mine, and they still on the dating app. You know why? Because they just like chasing dick. And by this time, it's not so many how many times she had jumped on the cock carousel. No, it's not that. It's how many riders have been on her. After, I don't know, 10 years. After 10 years, how many penises have been up in her? Her womb is so polluted. Pussy is not like a lot of things that get better with age. It is not. It don't get better from regular use. No, it doesn't. It gets worse and raggedy and woe out. Partly because fucks is lazy. They want it easy. Now, reading this report, 20 pages. I got about 4 pages in because I'm here on call when I was reading this shit. All this stuff they mentioned in here, like all this stuff in red, these allegations and stuff like that. I'm reading through all this, and one thing I'm asking myself is, who told? Who was the anonymous call who tipped off everybody that this chick is in the office having sex with a bunch of dudes? And two, why do they always, every report that I read, they mention these men in the exact same order? Sometimes some names are left out, but those first couple ones are always there. Those are the brothers. You know, the people that they fired because, according to that report, they interfered with the investigation because they lied first and met with each other to say, keep to your same story, nigga. I don't want to lose my wife and my job. Hmm. You know who got suspended? The people that was actually doing the most fucking on this chick. Those are the ones who got suspended. Yeah. The one who had a whole threesome with her and his wife. And he had hit multiple times and told him so. Oh, no, I've hit that multiple times. Two of them. White boys. They was banging her ass out. Like a goddamn drum in a parade. Boom, 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 boom. She couldn't quit. But the ones who got fired, what did they do? Oh, yeah. I let her suck my dick once at work. Fired. What? From a little sloppy toppy? Oh, I get it, because you was on the clock, right? Interesting. You know, one of the reasons I did not really want to become a police officer in my hometown was because those cops were known for fucking chicks on duty. They use the job, the badge, the patrol car as a way to get pussy. Most people know that's what cops do. Aside from catching criminals, they catch ass and fuck each other a lot. Married, unmarried, daddy birthday, Jesus birthday, fuck it. Some of them, if they're females, will get promoted from that shit. I'm sorry, that's just in law enforcement. Yeah, Ari, she is the little drummer toy. And she fine with it. She fine with it. She was doing the shit. Reading that report, nobody in there did not know what the fuck was going on. Nobody. Everybody knew who else she was fucking. The only people who actually got fired from that situation were the brothers, the sergeant and the detective. And both of them only got their dicks sucked. They wasn't the other dudes that was banging her out regularly. No. They was the ones who just got topped off once. And somebody ratted their ass out. Now, for me, I think two things happen. And don't take offense to this because I told y'all before here, and just to make it clear, I like everybody. Vagina comes in many colors, and I try to come in as many as I can. It's a joke. I don't. But I think it was the white boy who told. I think it was. And from reading this report, the investigation report, I think I know which one of them it was. Because they was all partying together. And you had to be in that circle, be one of the people who was getting that shit to know who else was getting that shit. Because it was like fresh baked cookies left in the break room, nigga. Everybody could have one. Now, the other thing I believe is that it was either, I'm not sure about, but this is like 50-50. It was either a male or a female. When I first was reading the first part of the report, it read like it was probably a female who told me. But because of what was mentioned in the report, it leads me to believe it was a guy. And it was one of the guys who was fucking her. If it wasn't one of the guys who was fucking her, it's one of the guys who weren't, which was her husband. Her husband told her. Why? Because he's the only one who wasn't down with this shit. He's the only one. And who else but a guy, a jealous guy, would mention the fact that this chick said that the main officer that they always mention, Mr. Powell, Officer Powell, had a big black dick. Who would else would mention that but a guy? And make sure to put that in the report. A fragile, shallow ego. A dude. Because a chick finding out somebody got a big black dick ain't telling nothing. She want to get a sample too. Because we know how women operate. Confirmation bias is a motherfucker. They need to know too. Does he? Can he really lay the pipe? And he has a big Johnson? I must see this for myself. Only a guy would be pissed off about that shit. Because she fucking up his ego in the rotation. Oh, you saying that nigga got a big dick? Fuck Powell. Fuck him. I'll fix his ass. Know what I read? What I saw when I read that report? A couple of ranking officers. Everybody else is just officers. No rank. Except for the two that they left off until you read the report. It's not in the news reports, except the early ones. But in the actual investigation report, they named them, you know, what police officer's houseboat they were at for this hot tub situation where the chick got her top off and everybody in the tub just drinking with her till one guy puts her top back on. Or, you know, fucking her somewhere else. Planet Fitness or something like that. This was just some regular shit. This is regular shit that's out here in the world right now. You mean to tell me, I don't even know how old this damn chick is. I'm thinking she's 20-something years old. She's in her 20s. I don't think she's 30. But some 20-something-year-old, pie-faced, regular white chick got onto the police force with a bunch of fucking studs. And she don't want to fuck these dudes. And she got a husband that looked like half a Zach Galifianakis. A park ranger. I think Charles said this shit before. It's real hard to go home to Clark Kent when you've been hanging around Superman all day. Real goddamn hard. And how does she know? She was figuring it out. Get the fuck out of here. This is not new. It's not. I think the only reason this shit made the news nationwide when it happened in bumfuck Tennessee is the fact that they got two black dudes wrapped up in that shit. And they got fired. Everybody else in the situation is all Caucasians. One of them look a little bit Latino, but they all Caucasians. And the ones who only getting suspended, the only thing they did differently is they was, I guess, fucking on their off hours. But ain't nobody bothered to ask them if they was fucking on the job because they only care about that with the brother. I mean, where else is a brother cheating on his wife with some eager, willing, participant wanting to suck him down, gonna do it at his house? No. You gonna get in the bathroom or some shit and get it popping. There's nothing new for some chick to be sucking off a bunch of dudes at the same time, knowing or unknowing. It is not new. It is not new to anybody. She ain't the only one this week. She wasn't the only one that day doing that shit. But they want to act like it's such a big goddamn deal when it is not. All right, can y'all see that shit? I don't want it wired over my fucking screen. Jesus. There we go. So, there you go. You got Megan, screwed up righty Megan. You got K9 Unit Officer Powell, Sergeant Powell. And you got Detective, I believe that's Detective Shields. Look at everybody else down here. These are all the rest of the people that's involved in this shit. Regular of regulars, dudes. Regular fucking dudes. Two brothers is the only one who got some top. Some top. The rest of these goofy motherfuckers, two of them on here, was having sex with her multiple times. They was banging it out. Finger cups. One leaving, one coming. And her cheesy ass. Shit, average at worst, nigga. Not even at best, just average. She's just an average chick. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me and my California sensibilities, but I see a lot of white chicks. She's just a regular chick. She's just a regular chick. She ain't hideous, but she ain't super fine either. But shout out to Abba and Preach on this. He pointed out something really key on their stream talking about this shit. They stream laughing about this shit. When you work in an environment with a bunch of males, any female that comes into that environment automatically jumps up the scale. Automatically. And it doesn't mean that she's super fine. It just means she the best looking thing amongst all these ugly ass goddamn men. That's it. So what I've told chicks is like, if you want your ego boosted, walk by a construction site. And don't be mad at them whistling at you. Because whatever's wrong with your ass, your booty too fat, your legs rubbed together, you get your one eye higher than the other one, it don't fucking matter. They gonna big you up and whistle and try to get your attention because the look from a woman is something that a man likes. A nice little smile will make his whole fucking day. Ain't even got to be his fucking woman. That will boost your ego. You will be the best thing they've seen all fucking day. All day. You know where I learned that shit? On the construction site. There was chicks that worked on that construction site, and I had to sit there and listen to Negroes sitting there talking about how fine so-and-so was, and I'm like, what? Oh, I get that. It's like, you are tripping. She is not cute. This was further refined when I worked retail. An environment where the chicks was all haggard. Bunch of single mamas and shit like that, bad attitudes and all the rest of that. Waiting for somebody rich to swoop in there and take them off their cashier job, and delusional at the worst. But there was one girl in there that was just fine. She was the finest one in the building because she was the youngest one in the building. Nice hair, tall, big old booty, big old breastises, nice personality, smiled and shit like that. Everybody liked her, even the chicks. And I had to tell my homeboy at the time, Twan, trash, Twan, that you know, her stock in this place goes down the minute another woman walks in the building. Now, correction on that story. There's two chicks. The chick Trash was messing with had a terrible fucking attitude. She looked like a little troll. She talked with a kid's voice. I hate this bitch. If I knew a chick that would beat her ass, I would pay her to go beat her ass because I dislike her that much. Now, she got the flirt with a lot of people in there. This is not the same tall one. This is a shorter one with a shitty attitude and a black boyfriend. But she didn't like people who wasn't interested in her. Now, until somebody else walked in that building, she was looking like the cutest thing. Long hair, nice voice, and all the rest of this shit, right? From the hood. She like brothers. She know rap shit, all this stuff, right? Just a trash mouth bitch. She curse worse than I do. For real. And younger than me. But the minute one of these women from that neighborhood, that community, walked in that building, her stock plummeted. Plummeted. She went from an 8 to a 3 instantly from somebody crossing the goddamn threshold. Why? Because she worked in the environment with a lot of damn dudes. And she was the only attractive woman. Her stock immediately bumped up with most simp ass dudes. Not with men. She hated that shit. She hated that shit when the chicks came in there. And she would shit on them. Now, in this police situation, I don't know however many other women work in that damn department, but apparently Megan figured out she found her happy place. Like we say here about SYSBM and passport bros and shit like that, you find your tribe, folks that like you, and you fuck with them. Oh, she was fucking with them. She found her tribe and she was fucking with them because they gave her all the affirmation she fucking needed by wanting her. And she got to get all her sexual rocks off fucking them dudes that she probably couldn't get any other kind of way without having her legs spring loaded open and taking doing her CSI work on some Johnsons. She had to get samples. That was the best. That's probably the best fun she's had in her life. But other people is gonna lose their job over that shit. But just getting sucked on at work. Now, I probably shouldn't say this, but I can because two of the places I ain't at no more, so it don't matter. I've had sex at work. It ain't necessarily recommended, but I have. My son was conceived at work while I was on the clock. You know why? Because it was late and I was horny. Just what happened. And that wasn't the first time. And it wasn't the last. There is a stain on that pool table at that old building to this day that I put there, banging my girlfriend out on top of that pool table. Why? Because fun is where you have it. Or I should say, fun is where you find it. One of the best parts about sex is having it in places you ain't supposed to. That's what makes it exciting. in the back of the truck, down that footpath ramp in the park at night where you ain't supposed to be. Yeah, talk to my wife about that. Or I should say my ex-wife about that. That's part of the fun of the shit. You know the Janet Jackson song? Anytime, any place, anytime, anywhere. Don't care who's around. That was a hit song. Not just for men. For women. Yeah. Squad car, police station gym. He was working it out. He was working some shit out. Look. What? She had a barbell. She was working it out. Get that little kettlebell in. He was doing some lunges. What? Look, dude. For me, it's an overreaction. It's a reprimand at best. For all of them. Not just some of them, all of them. Now, this is why I say this. A dude lying when he's asked if he's cheated on his wife is kind of par for the course. Kind of expected. I mean, goddamn. The president of the United States. Billy, I had no relations with that woman, Clinton, who I voted for. Got some sloppy toppy in the Oval Office. And when asked about it, fucking lied. Are you surprised? Look, this is why I say that it's not important that people not lie. You need to understand that people lie. What's more important is understanding why people lie, what they will lie for. That's it. It's not that if people lie, people fucking lie. It's them habitual motherfuckers and the people who lie to hurt, which is the ones you need to watch. Those are the ones you need to watch. The motherfuckers who lying to protect their job and keep their marriage and not have to go to child support court for their kids and shit like that. Well, that's kind of understandable. It's human nature to protect what you don't want to lose after you've done some dumb shit. Yeah, Ari, you know the whole phrase. He did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. Okay. Nobody said she had sex. We said she sucked you up. And the evidence is apparently on her dress. So either she had a hole in her mouth or she forgot to swallow. I don't know. I call that messy. Doing a lot of thrusts and splits. Yeah. So for me, the main officer that they always put his ass, his picture and everything out there as big as fucking day because they want him to get just persecuted for that shit. He is so wrong for sticking his big black dick in that little white girl mouth. She did it. She asked for it. It's best believe he wouldn't have had her in the gym sucking him up if she wasn't down to do that shit. I don't think he made her do it. They didn't say he dragged her back there to the room. You're going to submit to me. That's not what was happening. It was not in the description that I read. Now, dudes lying about fucking around on their wife is not surprising. That's a suspension at best. It is not. You need to be fired and lose your whole livelihood and job. And the dude that they keep showing the most of, Sergeant Powell, he's the one who is getting divorced and is going to be in child support court fighting for his kids. And it says it in that investigation report that after this investigation, His I'm assuming black wife went fucking nuts. They had a whole domestic call that he tried to hush up because she slapped the shit out of him, abused him at home, and filed for divorce and gonna take his kids away from him because he let some regular ass white bitch suck his dick at work. And now she is publicly embarrassed. Shallow ego. So now his whole life gonna be ruined by just getting his dick sucked. And these other dudes who was banging that chick out on a regular and got in there is telling all the details, just got suspended. They'll be back at work. That's why I say it was probably a dude who'd hope that anonymous call. Probably a dude. You know, it's probably the main one who was fucking her regularly. Or was a husband. You say he didn't like you. That woman, that one there. Never looked at blue dresses the same way after that. I never looked at blue dresses with all that up to the collar shit like the same way. It's like, man, you need to cut that shit open so the sleeve is showing just in case you dribble, it drip down, it don't stay up there in the neck region. That look real crazy. Like you ate a like drop the glazed donut down your chest. Like the fuck, dude. Come on. Let it catch. Let it catch in the reservoir. But I know she was another regular chick, just paging at the Capitol. Just a regular chick. She ain't nothing worth looking at. Lewinsky or this chick. You'd pass them up and never think of their face one time in your life after that. But they were serving some powerful men. I don't think this was a story. It wasn't a story. I don't give a fuck. I wouldn't fuck that chick if she was offering it to me. Why? Because I have fucking standards and she don't meet them. Now she could be nice and friendly and all the rest of that shit. Yeah, Megan, you cool. Yo, you crazy girl. You. But this bitch was sending naked pics and all kind of shit to these dudes at work, probably on their work phone. This is what she was down for. Now I can tell you by knowing the dark side of certain women nowadays. Women want this shit. This is nothing no dude has to push on a woman. You keep pushing this American toxic femininity bullshit to everybody. This is what you get. Every young chick out there wanting to be a whole hoe on purpose. Renegade. No handler, off the leash. You name me. You don't even have to name it. Y'all can just answer this question. When I ask it, you just put a yes or no in the chat. Right? Can you think of at your particular job some chick that is there that's probably not fucking somebody in your business? You let me know. What up, Rainfire? Beastly. He was not all the way into it. It says it in the investigation. He wasn't into it because he saw her kissing one of the other officers' wife, and he wasn't really down for that shit. He was upset. Now, he might have been upset about being left out of that shit. But yeah, he was kind of down for, but he wasn't down for how she was doing it. That's why I was anonymous. Pussies do shit anonymously. But the offers and his wife, who had an open marriage, just like to have threesomes and shit, they was all down with that shit, and they didn't get fired. Yes and no, 9 people, 3 responses, huh? Like, yes, I can. There's some chick right now fucking somebody at your job. That is not her husband or boyfriend. It is in every business. It has been there since men and women occupied the workplace together. It is not going away. No matter how much feminism tells you it's all wrong and you're just objectifying women and all that goofy shit, get the fuck out of here. Women like having sex. And they will have it with as many goddamn people as they can when they fucking feel like it. Wherever they fucking feel like it. Now, if you think every woman is walking around here prim and proper, would never do that, I never have a dick in my mouth. Get the fuck out of here. Get all the fuck out of here. There ain't a such thing as an insta thought because women don't like T's and D. There is not a such thing as a plenty of fish, a Bumble, a Hinge, a Tinder, a Grinder, whatever the fuck. There is not a such thing as all those dating websites if the chicks ain't out there trying to catch dick. Get the fuck over. This is the flip side of that toxic femininity bullshit. Women acting like complete fucking hoes. Now, you can be mad all you want to for somebody pointing that shit out, but this is why. This is why. Let's wrap it all up. This is why dudes like Austin Holloman will go to another country to find a woman. Because we don't want these trash boxes like that. How would I find a wife amongst women like Megan who would fuck her department and still claim and believe she's a good woman? And just destroyed, sort of, a couple of families. A couple of kids is going to grow up without their daddy now. Because he got some topic. Because somebody else came into the workplace and couldn't keep her legs fucking closed. She just needed to have all these dudes. I just need to have them. She got a whole fucking husband. This is why at my age, when I hear people talking about, oh, she married, that would never happen. I said, that don't mean shit. That don't mean a goddamn thing. That means she's more able. You more able to fuck her than a regular single chick. You know why? Because women nowadays love to fucking cheat. They love it. They made too many stories about this shit. This is their thing. What's the name of that show on Netflix that everybody was so hot over last year? About that wife who cheated on her husband and was fucking this other dude and fucking some other dude, and it was all sexy, and you saw the sex and all the rest of that shit. What was the name of that show? Why was it so popular? It wasn't popular because a bunch of dudes was watching that shit. Popular because a bunch of women was watching it. And they want to live that shit. No differently than These goofy chicks wanting to live the Kardashian lifestyle and ain't been a car or a dash ever. No different than these chicks who watch love and hip hop and basketball and balls in your face, and then they think that's their personality now. That's what they're supposed to do. Human fucking tofu. Taking on the flavor of whatever they mixing in. Whatever cesspool they jumping in, they taking on that flavor. That's just what we got to do now. No integrity, nothing solid. Secret Life, yeah. It's on Netflix. Salacious entertainment. Why do motherfuckers like Olivia Poe and Scandal? Not because she was doing anything political. No, because she got to fuck the president. You low aspiration to have a motherfuckers. And Sex Life is Secret Life or Sex Life, I think is the name of the show, basically. I think that's so that's what it is. All this goofy shit that happens and trying to keep you from being able to call it out when you see it. Honestly, I think all of them should keep their damn jobs at that police department. They should all keep their damn jobs. Reprimand them for fucking on the clock. And let them all keep their jobs and keep going on and fucking and doing whatever the hell else they're doing. Because obviously, they ain't got no crime. Ain't shit going on in that department that they need to be really, on top of. They got time to just be fucking each other. Let them do it. Let them keep knocking themselves out. Fuck it. Ain't nothing going on out there, obviously. Nothing more important they can be doing. And I don't give a shit about dudes having sex or women having sex. Especially if they ain't fucking me. Why do I care? Two guys are beefing over a woman at my job they were dating, and she had a husband at the home. Yeah, Rainfire. See, that's the shit I'm talking about right there. That's the shit I'm talking about right there. This is the same reason why I said August Alsina should have got punched in the fucking mouth. Not because he fucked Will Smith's wife. Not if Will knew or not. Because you're supposed to keep your fucking mouth shut. Dumbass, you fell in love? She married. These two dudes Rainfire talking about, they into a beef with each other over a chick that's married. That is no different. And I'm bringing up my own dirt because I ain't no saint. I ain't no saint in this bitch. I'm a hell spawn with angel wings, okay? And Lucifer was an angel too, so I guess I'm in good company. This chick, while I was in college, that I messed with, and I was married. I was messing with her. I was married. Yeah, it was wrong. I did it. Fuck what? When I told her I wasn't leaving my wife to be with her ass, she got pissed off. She got a whole fucking husband. A whole husband. Who loved her shitty panties. She got so pissed off, she started fucking with my homeboy in the class. Trying to cause static between me and him. She still got a whole husband. Don't that sound messy as fuck? Don't that sound messy? This is a white chick. She was fine. Used to be a model and everything. Fine, smart, intelligent. Psych major. But like that messy shit. Like that messy. Messy. I'm the only one not getting into that shit. Because she knew I had a wife. She knew my homeboy in the class had a girlfriend. She was trying to fuck that shit up to get him. Like, for real. And she got a whole husband. Ego. Yeah, you just don't know, Arya. Look, I've had experiences and been through shit. And I don't say this shit to make myself sound like a fucking saint. I've never said I was a saint, a golden boy, none of that shit. I am a dude. I am a guy. Living my life to my standards and trying to get the best out of it that I can. I don't do everything right. I don't. I don't have a problem saying the things that I've not done right. But I don't do everything wrong either. And I have no problem telling that. And the reason I know the things that I know is because I've done the work to learn what I know. So if I'm right on shit, it's because I've been wrong a lot. That's how you learn and get right. I listen and I learn. And I comprehend the lessons. That's why I don't make those mistakes twice, 3 times. 4 times. Messy hyena's always on the prowl. You're right, Malika. And she was. In retrospect, she was. Because I came into that situation on a bad one. Relationship not going well. Marriage was not going well. I came into it on a bad one. And she must have smelled that shit. She must have smelled that shit. In retrospect, I knew this like a year after it happened. I was really thinking about it and shit like that. Like, that motherfucker knew. That motherfucker knew. She sensed it. I remember the look she gave me the first time I was in that class with her. She knew. She smelled that shit. Women can smell an unhappy man. That's what married women look for. You know why? Because it's easier to give you a little bit of attention and get what she wants. A lot of your attention. That's when I figured out that whole thing about cheating and shit like that. What's the problem? Cheating ain't the problem. The relationship is the problem. Cheating is a symptom of a problem, not the problem. Because you never get to cheating unless something else is fucked up already. Cheating is just one of the ways it expresses itself that something is messed up. Because you won't go there unless something is messed up. You're looking for that comfort. You're looking for that relief. It's no different than an alcoholic looking for a drink when shit gets stressful. Yeah, they smell it, Malika, because women are attuned. Some women are attuned more emotionally. They are. That's why they get into crystals and spiritual. Oh, I'm gonna do the henna on my hands and stuff. That's why they get that shit. Because they are. If they pay attention and develop that shit, it ain't just off top. You got to develop it. So yeah, she was on the prowl. She was on the prowl. It made it messy. I can't think of a situation, a job that I have worked on where there hasn't been, if there is at least one chick there, at least one female there, no matter how she looked, some dudes is gonna be into it over her. Some dudes is gonna be at odds with each other over her. And she ain't gotta be fucking either one of them. But it don't matter if she got a dude, 2 dudes, 3 dudes, a whole platoon back at the house. Don't matter. 4 kids, don't matter. I remember when my crazy ex came by my job. I told y'all my crazy ex was fine. She was. It's just what it is. Tall, long hair, light skinned, Egyptian and Caucasian mixed. Long legs, nice calves. Used to play sports and shit like that. So she got a fit body, big ass titties, because she got the shit done, pretty ass face, light eyes. Gorgeous one. Came to my job for lunch, walking around. You know what I got to see up from one corner to the other one? Motherfuckers that worked on a job with me who got a whole fucking wife trying to hit on her. Now, why wasn't he fucking and I was? Because she didn't entertain that shit. That's the only difference. That's the only thing that actually matters. What these chicks entertain. Now, that wasn't my wife. It was just my lady. Right? Yeah, I got pissy at her and I got pissy at his ass. Yeah, nigga, what the fuck? Oh, that's your girl? Yeah, nigga. What's wrong with you? Now, did I take it further than that? No. But I know I bet not ever see his wife. I'll fuck her. I've dealt with enough married women to know how. And it's just something I just don't use. Stupid. So it doesn't take more than one. It doesn't take more than one. I was talking about this shit with JT last week about shit he was getting on his workplace. I said, dude, there's jobs I've worked. There's a chick on the job. I don't even want to be caught alone talking to her ass because niggas will get all in their feelings. I'm just saying niggas not as black folks, but ignorant motherfuckers, ignorant dudes, all in their damn feelings about it. Like I'm hitting on their wife. You got a whole woman, a whole wife and kids and shit. This is not yours. Anybody can talk to this motherfucker. Shut up. Divest yourself. You see, all in their goddamn feelings. Anyway, a strag on a messy manhunt will always create chaos, disorder, confusion, and disaster. Facts, Malika. Facts. And dudes feed into that shit because, like we've talked about here many a times, it is way too many fucking simps. They have made way too many of you motherfuckers. They need to shut down the factory and stop that programming. Stop putting them simp chips in. Stop it. Y'all need to deactivate that shit. And it doesn't mean that these women gonna go fucking hungry. It just means that you're gonna be thinking fucking clearly for once in your life. Strag, huh? Are you funny? So that's the point of this, is that people don't say what they want to. I may not have to like that situation with the police officers there, but they can do what the fuck they want to. They all adults. I don't see if they was hurting anybody. I'm just wondering who was patrolling the fucking streets while they was sitting there fucking on this same one chick. I mean, was there no other females in that department giving up ass? Did they not all have women? And why is she there allowed to be giving up ass to everybody in that building? Now they want to try to flip that shit and say, oh, she had a mental problem. She was having some issues. She was drinking too much. Is she a responsible adult or not? Because as far as I know, there's pictures of this bitch taking an oath. Taking an oath to become a police officer. That means she carrying a gun and all the rest of that shit. Does she have good judgment or not? Is she an adult or not? Or are we giving this shit out to kids and stuff now? See, I see stuff like that. That was a sworn officer. That was a sworn officer. And I think, I tried for the police department a couple of times. I ain't even got a criminal record. There was psychological tests and all kind of shit I had to go through. And still just missed selection to go to the academy. You mean this bitch got through all of this stuff, got through the academy and everything, and you telling me now that she been fucking her department for the last 2 years, now all of a sudden she got some mental problems. No shit. You didn't shake that out back in the interview process? Y'all make it too easy for some folks and way too hard for others. That's what the fuck you get. That's why I say, let her stay there. Let her fuck everybody. So what? Maybe she could end up pregnant and get child support from all of them. Since she can't figure out who the daddy is. Since everybody just getting to shoot it up. Yeah, we messing with the same girl, same girl. Yeah, that's what I've been preach pulled that Usher R. Kelly out. I was dying. I said, these niggas are stupid. These motherfuckers are stupid. Same girl, same girl. They. This is the thing. You read that report, you'll think the dude Powell was a snitch, that he was telling on everybody. No, all these niggas knew. All of them that was in that department knew who else she was fucking. It wasn't nothing to say. Everybody knew it because they was all doing it. Dude, she was basically the pass around. They could have, man, look, this could have been like your shift. I'm going into work tonight. I'm doing this evening shift. I'm working swing. We working 2 to 11. Okay, I'm on. I'm working with Officer Hall too. Dude, what, you getting before lunch or after dinner break? Just let me know. You before? Cool. I get her after dinner break. Clean that shit up, man. That's all it seemed like it was. Looking goofy shit. Yeah, that work wife / husband stuff needs to go. It does, but that's hypergamy at its finest. That's what that shit is. That work wife, work husband shit, that isn't, I don't believe, I can't prove it. I do not believe that's a term created by men. That is a term created by women. Why? Because they'll get in these jobs, mixed company, and some dude there will be super fucking simping over her, and that'll become her work husband who does everything for her, takes her to lunch, always got something to do, and got a whole chick at home. Whole chick at home. And if she ain't sitting at home taking care of the kids, she at her job with her work husband. The Legion of Simpery, simping over her ass. And then they go back home to each other and can't even interact. She also worked in the medical field. So, yeah, look, I can tell you this. You can have unstable people in the medical field and police fields. I know both. I know both. I know police officers and I know nurses and shit like that. Some of these nurses and caregivers and shit like that, them bitches is not stable. And I don't give a fuck who don't like it. They're not. They might be good at their job, but they're not mentally stable. Now, you want to be mad at me? Before you get mad at me, think of if you a nurse or something like that, think of the bitches on your job you won't fuck with. Who might be fucking the paramedic or the doctor who's married and having his babies. I just heard that fucking story this week. Chick fucking with a married doctor. Had his baby and got pregnant with a second one that he will not claim. And that nigga the fuck out of here with his family and his wife back to Africa. Fuck you, bitch, and them 2 kids. Now, who looks stupid? Him for fucking her and shooting up the club, or her for having 2 babies by a dude that ain't her goddamn husband? What did she think was going to happen? She was going to tie him down. She's going to make him give up them resources. Fucking stupid. Yeah, she the shift buddy. Yeah, she is. She's a dick cozy. Shout out to Donovan. Peace leave. She the peace leave. She the dick cozy on the job. What Lonzo say in training day, get in the back of the squad car, code X. Slow night. Got to work this shotgun. Cop version of Freddy Krueger's mother. Yeah, no shit. Difference was Freddy Krueger's mother got great. This chick was not great. Chances are she initiated all that shit because she wanted it. Because dudes don't work some chick up to doing all that shit. No fucking way. That's not how it works. She got to let you know she down for that shit. And if she's sending naked pictures of herself to all those dudes in the department, she was the one down for that shit. How is she going to get her experience up? I play RPG games. I catch a chick trying to unlock an achievement. I can see a chick unlocking an achievement somewhere. Whole status upgraded. I ain't shame her for it. Do what you want to. Suck all the dick you feel like sucking, girl. You should have just been quieter about it. Because one of them niggas talked to the wrong person. He got a little in his feelings about some cooch that ain't his. And you was talking way too big about a certain motherfucker. He didn't like that shit. He was my buddy, all right. No, I don't think any of them needs to be fired. I don't. Suspension, you can suspend them for a couple of days. Even with him lying in an investigation, it's like, what do you expect him to do? Tell you on an investigation the truth? You ain't said you had no fucking proof? Fuck you. He lied to try to save himself from getting divorced. That's understandable. What y'all doing is trying to make sure he gets divorced. You're trying to punish him because he let this little white chick suck his dick. That's what y'all do. That's why he got to go, and the other detective got to go too. Just from getting their dick sucked. The dudes that's actually banging her out the whole time, repeatedly, ain't got to do shit but get suspended for a little while. They can go back to work. But her and them two dudes, yeah, you fucked them two niggas, yeah. Once you go black, you can't go back. Beat it. You think that means there ain't gonna be no fucking in that office no more? Look, married people do what the fuck they do. I've been married, I can tell you that for a certainty. Married folks do what the fuck they want to do. If it's cool with the two of them, you ain't got shit to say about it. Or they don't care about what you got to say about it. The one guy that ain't hit enough probably snitched. Yeah, exactly, Death Racer. That's exactly what I said. It's one of the dudes that told. It was one of the white dudes. Because he didn't like hearing her going back and telling them tales about who had a bigger dick. He didn't like that shit. Because it ain't stopped neither one of them other two dudes from banging her out regularly. Multiple times. And they said it themselves. Like they was bragging about the shit. Only difference is they said what she told everybody else too. Because she was talking too. She wasn't ashamed about nothing she was fucking doing. On or off alcohol. Because don't tell me she was drinking and not in her right mind when she on shift sucking dick. Was she drunk on shift? Is that what you're saying? No, I think she was in her right mind. She just wanted to do that shit. I don't have a problem with that. No, she was serving all right. I don't know what she was protecting. Maybe it was zippers. She was protecting her lack of experience, I guess. I don't know. And still married. Her husband ain't, totally bent out of shape and shook her loose. No. You know why? Probably a book deal in it. Probably some TV interviews in it. She's going to get paid for this shit. That's the funny part. She's going to get paid for this shit. People are going to pay her to hear her goddamn story. And the two officers that got fired from this shit is going to be ruined. Nobody will pay to hear their stories because they're just two black males out of positions of power. And that's all that's important. All the rest of them regular schmegular officers go back to work. And can keep fucking that chick. So. that is the stuff that was on my list, that was on my mind this week. Is there geek stuff? I know Steven showed up in here earlier. He wanted me to watch The Last of Us. I had not got a chance to watch The Last of Us yet, but I also figured out how I was going to do this stuff because I'm at a point to where anybody who subscribed to me on Patreon, I do have a Patreon. I have not put enough content up there for you guys, and I apologize about that. So I'm trying to figure out a way to do content for you guys and not catch a YouTube strike. So how this is going to work for now is on Patreon, I will do my long form reactions. Excuse me, my long form reactions, right? So if you see something that pops up in my community tab that says watch party for such and such, it is a closed stream happening only on Patreon. What I will do is I will take pieces of that, chop it up into a review, and put that out. But the long form content, the hour, however long that shit is, that will be on Patreon. That way, the people on Patreon get something. People on YouTube get something. And my black ass might get something. Right. But I know I've had a lot of less time of late. So I haven't had time to do as many videos and reactions and stuff like that. I got 3 trailers right now I need to watch and react to. And I still have reviews on this phone that's bursting at the seams of memory to get off of here and out, which means I have to finish the video before I can get it off of here, but I need space so it has memory to get the video out. And I keep spending a lot of time at work. Like now. So that is what's going to happen going forward. So if you want to know what I think of The Last of Us, I will watch it and I'll watch it on Patreon. You can watch it there. There'll be a link. You can pop in, you can watch it with me. We can have a little discussion about the shit. But afterwards, after that shit is over, I'll record my little bit of a review as well. And I'll cut that off, and that will be what is left on YouTube. Because one of the things that Austin Holloman actually pointed out, which is actually smart, is that you need to diversify. Whereas I didn't like the dude interviewing him, asking him about how he get his money, because that fat fuck is so much a simp in the bag that he just trying to put it out there how to fuck this dude up. That's all he doing. He trying to gain information to get him fucked up. None of your business how he get his money. But he did tell him, yeah, I kind of I diversify. I do too. I want to be able to put out more content, more longer content, and also try to put out some short content so we can hit the low attention span people in the room as well. And for 2023, I'm really going to try to do some things for my channel. I know I said that last year and I got into the same groove, but it was because I started doing different things. Last year was tough. They say, what did Pac say? Last year was a hard one, but life goes on. Bumping my head against the wall, learning right from wrong. So I went through a lot of shit last year. It finished out beginning of this year, but it's a new year, new challenges, new goals. I'm coming up on that 4-year mark for my channel. Some things need to happen differently. Something needs to happen differently. I'm not saying I'm going to devote a lot more time to it, but I need this audience to grow. I would like it to grow. And there are certain things that I've been putting off that I need to do to make it grow. So I'll start doing that. I'll at least try. So beyond that, Geek wise, oh, I should say geek wise, Mandalorian is coming up next week. That'll be on Patreon. I'll watch that live on Patreon. And it'll be a watch party for Mandalorian, and we can watch that shit together. I don't care. I'm not gonna do it for the Bad Batch right now because Bad Batch is ongoing right now. It's already 4 episodes in, and Last of Us is ongoing. But excuse me, I haven't seen the second episode. I think it comes on tonight. I mean, I haven't seen the second episode. I believe it comes on tonight, but I still have to watch the first episode, so I can actually catch up to that one really quickly because it's just 2 episodes. So if I'm gonna spend an hour and 20 minutes watching this shit, my time, my internet, and all the rest of that shit, why should I do a review for free? This shit got to work some kind of way. Everything costs, and like these chicks is noticing, that nerdy dude with the regular job going the fuck away from you cost. Cost. Everything cost. And if it's not there for you, you ain't paying it to have it there. You ain't paying the privilege to have it there. It's usually how it works. So I am going to get out of here now. It's been about 2:30. Sorry you got the abbreviated broken stream, but it's an on-call weekend. Y'all know how that goes with me. When I'm on call, I'm on call. So I have to do that first and then come back and have fun. Work first, play later. Came back to play later. I know it seemed like I was just ranting on one thing, but I did try to mix in some of the shit that was going on in my head that I thought was important because I have not been overly plugged into everything going on in geekdom of late. It's still January, so it's still coming into the morass of all this shit. But business will pick up into January and going into February. We'll be back in the groove. So thank you guys for coming through today. Thank you for everybody who donated earlier. I don't think anybody donated since then, but it is what it is. I don't know if I got the 10. No, I only got the 5. So we'll see. Yep, only got the 5. That is, but it was a broken stream. So it is what the fuck it is. But I appreciate y'all coming through. And well, I'll just say have a good night. Peace, be safe. Always safe. Till next week, same geek time, same geek channel. Exactly, Akateki. Appreciate you saying that. And yeah, there'll be some other changes coming to the channel by 4.0. There'll be some 4.0 changes happening. Definitely. But thank you guys for coming through. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate everybody who supported the stream. We did not make the goal. We are short of the goal. That does not mean I'm getting rid of the goal. That just means I'll increase it. And then maybe I'll drive everybody out of here who just ain't down for it. That's just what it is. But like the Angry Man has shown the way, you find your new audience then. Motherfuckers ain't gonna support you. You will find your audience. All right, so I'm gonna get out of here and try to warm up my cold Chinese food. I will say on the last note, I forgot to mention this. This is my boy Chris Adams' book, new comic, Edge of the End, Fracture Comics. I got last week at the Black Expo. And I want to share something with you that this guy wrote me here. You know, I had the opportunity to go out with Chris and Joe after the expo, and we got to hang out, had some Chinese food, like I told you. We had some Japanese food actually. Had the little chick there, kind of giving eyes and whatnot. But one second. I hate repeat work orders. Same place, same issue. Fun, fun, fun. Left it all day till the evening. Why? Why didn't you? Now it's nighttime. One more second, you guys. It's not that it doesn't sound good. It's not that. It's that it's a repeat for the same issue at the same place, which is irritating because they waited the rest of the damn day to do it at the end of the day. So that's what makes it irritating because I'm tired. So, um, this is Chris's new book, and something that Chris did that I appreciated while I was there, which is he signed the book. I didn't know he was going to do that, but he signed it. Yeah, vegan bratwurst does not compute at all. Just say you're making vegetables. Can it be bratwurst without any meat in it? Weird shit. Anyway, so he wrote this. He wrote this message in there, right? Signed the book, and he wrote a long message. And I saw him in there scribbling, and he had customers at his booth, and he brought all of the stuff up. And I ain't seen Chris in a minute since I was at the shop, so it was good to see him. I usually end up seeing JT a little bit more than Chris, but Chris is, he works a different kind of job, so he's moving around. And he's moving into editing right now, which is he's trying something new. Aside from being the production assistant, he's trying editing, which is good. More longevity. So he wrote this to me, and I thought it was a really nice message. What up, Dust? And I was going to share it with you guys. It's not so much. It's not anything overly sensitive, right? But I thought it made me smile because there was a time that I left the con, left the expo, went, found a Ghirardelli shop, just walking around Frisco, sat down, had some hot chocolate and a cookie, and was just reading, his book, his new book that he wrote. He paid for to get made. And I looked in the back and saw what he wrote in there, and I was actually kind of touched. I appreciated that good sentiment. This is how people can speak life into you, and people can wish death upon your name. All right. This happened in the same day, but this was what I got earlier. It was like, Artisan, you've always had our backs through the years. You've been a great mentor, but even better friend. It means more than I can express, and I'll never forget it. With all the love, dude, let's get it. You need anything? I got you, Chris. Now, in your life, you will run into people who try to tell you who you are because they don't get their fucking way. But it's the people that you actually help who know who you are. Because I didn't ask for that. That came from his heart, what he felt about what I have actually done for him. And I've never asked anything in return. Never asked him to kiss my ass. I never asked him to agree with everything I said. Never told him that he can't say what he wanted to say. No. He was my friend, and I helped him as I would want to help any brother. Because there was something I could do, so I did it. I appreciate that brother for that. I will finish reading his comic and give him my honest feedback, just like I always have given it to him. And try to keep motivate him to go forward doing what he's doing, because it is tough. It is tough to do. So I appreciate Chris for doing that. And I appreciate JT and the two of them for being an inspiration to me. They can call me a mentor all they want to, but they're an inspiration to me because they went forward and did what I had only dreamed of doing when I was 18 and drawing comics and thinking, damn, I'd love to do this. They fucking did it. That's where their generation has on my generation. They can actually get more of this stuff done without so much pushback. And that's why it's over in a lot of ways for my generation. So thank you guys for coming through. Dusty, appreciate you. I need a new beat, man. They keep copyrighting me. So you're going to have to hit me up. You still got my email. Hit me up because I still got yours. I might need a new beat. A new beat, man. I need a new beat because I still use the other one. Like this one. This is a Dusty beat for y'all, just so you know. That's a dust beat. So yeah, I might need another one, man. No, they don't copyright me for your stuff. They copyright me for other stuff. Like you'll see this outro when I leave that I have. I catch a copyright every time I play music. It's just what it is. And the way things are going right now, like I said, my channel's been monetized for a while. They keep finding ways not to monetize the shit. I'm not living off of it, so I was never thinking about it that way. But it is a little disappointing to keep seeing that shit turn from green to red or green to yellow. Like, oh no, maybe we could share it. Like, nigga, people play music all over this bitch. Yeah, yeah. We'll lock it in. I'll email you about it because there's some intros I'm not getting rid of. So fuck it. I'll deal with it. But I do want a new beat. I need another flavor. Need another flavor, neighbor. I pay you for the flavors because I do believe in paying for the shit that I get. So appreciate you, Dust. Appreciate you, everybody in the chat. The Aria, the Chocolate Witch, BTM, Toya. I want that playlist. If it's goats fucking and farm animals getting it in, yeah, I might want to hear that shit. It might be interesting. Give me something to talk about one day. You ever heard of goats fucking? Yeah, it sounds kind of like that. Hit me on IG. I'm on IG too, Dust. I'll hit you up. I'll hit you up. Some samples. Malika, Aquateki, No One, AB. I think I ran AB out of here. You know what ghost fucking sounds like? Sheets flapping in the wind. They're ghosts. It don't sound like shit. Oh. Get the fuck out of here. I got a pilot light to go relight. So appreciate y'all coming through. This was Shop Talk Live. There's more talk than shop. I'm gonna do this every Sunday, rain or shine, or on call, 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have been Artisan MC, the one and the only, and I will see you next time. Peace.
Check it out.
I like this.
Now, to all the ladies in the place with style and grace, allow me to lace these lyrical douches in your bushes who rock grooves and make moves with all the mommies. The back of the club, sipping my wet is where you find me. The back of the club, knocking holes, my crew's behind me. Mad question asking, blunt passing, music lasting. But I just can't quit because one of these homies Biggie got to creep with, sleep with, keep the ep a secret. Why not? Why blow up my spot? Cause we both got hot. Now check it. I got more Mac than Craig and in the bed. Believe me, sweetie, I got enough to feed the needy. No need to be greedy. I got mad friends with Benzes. See notes by the layers. True fucking players. Jump in the Rover and come over. Tell your friends jump in the GS3. I got the chronic by the tree. I love it when you call me Big Papa. Throw your hands in the air if you's a true player. I love it when you call me Big Papa. To the honeys getting money, playing niggas like dummies. I love it when you call me Big Papa. You gotta come up in your waist, please don't shoot up the place. Cause I see some ladies tonight that should be having my baby. Straight up, honey, really, I'm asking. Most of these niggas think they be macking, but they be acting. Who they attracting with that line? What's your name? What's your sign? Soon as he buy that wine, I just creep up from behind and ask you what your interests are. Who you be with? Things that make you smile. what numbers to dial. You gon' be here for a while, I'm gon' call my crew, you gon' call your crew. We can rendezvous at the bar around 2. Plans to leave, throw the keys to little C's. Pull the truck up front and roll up the next blunt so we can steam on the way to the telly. Go fill my belly. A T-bone steak, cheese, eggs, and Welch's grape. Conversate for a few, cause in a few we gon' do what we came to do. Ain't that right, boo? Forget the telly, we just go to the crib and watch a movie in the jacuzzi. Smoke L's while you do me. I love it when you call me Big Papa. Throw your hands in the air if you's a true player. I love it when you call me Big Papa. To the honeys getting money, playing niggas like dummies. I love it when you call me Big Papa. You got a gun up in your waist, please don't shoot up the place. Cause I see some ladies tonight that should be having my baby.
How you living, Biggie Smalls?
Imagine and Benz is giving ends to my friends and it feels stupendous. Tremendous cream, fuck $1 and a dream. Still tote gas strapped with infrared beams. Chopping O's, smoking line optimals, money holes and clothes, all a nigga knows. A foolish pleasure, whatever. I had to find the buried treasure, so grams I had to measure. However, living better now, coochie sweater now. Drop top BMs, I'm the man, girlfriend.
Honey, check it. Tell your friends to get with my friends. We could be friends. Shit, we could do this every weekend. That's right. Alright? Is that alright with you? Yeah. Keep banging.
I love it when you call me Big Papa. Throw your hands in the air if you's a true player. I love it when you call me Big Papa. To the honeys getting money, playing niggas like dummies. I love it when you call me Big Papa. You got a gun up in your waist, please don't shoot up the place. Cause I see some ladies tonight that should be having my baby. Check it out, now folks shit for that ass. Puff Daddy, Biggie Smalls, Junior Mafia, represent baby.